Why do you think you are so mind controlled and brainwashed? Because if we grew up knowing this stuff, evil wouldn't rule the world. Evil traps you. They trap you in survival mode, because when that's your whole focus is on surviving, you have no energy left over to do what I'm talking about. You got to suck it the fuck up, and you have to be willing to just let life be harder for a while, because you're going to have to do both for a period of time. Meaning continue to survive and struggle and be exhausted, but also be learning and elevating. Nobody's going to fucking save you. Like all that religious cult bullshit where they brainwash you there. Jesus never came here and taught you he was going to fucking save you from any goddamn thing. He taught you you could become what he became. We have the power. We have the energetic ability, the wisdom, when you're willing to get there, to achieve that, to make something like this a reality. A new country, a Republic of Oneness, where we have actual leaders that are awakened, enlightened beings that know how to teach everyone else in that country how to rise, how to awaken higher. No more violence, no more wars. A new earth starts with having a country that is willing to be the way. Follow me, I am the way. We have the power to show everyone else in the world how to become this, but you have to be willing to do what it takes. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast, your highest source of sacred truths and universal wisdom. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm Rachel Fiori, mystic, spiritual teacher, psychic healer, and founder of Masters of Self University. Join our journey of soul transformation as we deep dive into this latest episode. Hello, mystical beings and beautiful souls. Welcome to Masters of Self University podcast. I'm Rachel Fiori, your host for this episode. Oh, I'm excited about this one. I hope you're ready to jump in to some quantum reality transformation and what we have the ability to create. And I want to talk about the emancipation of the state of California from the United States of America, creating our own country. Our own country that I would like to call and refer to as a Republic of Oneness. A Republic of Oneness. Now, let's talk about this. Number one, when we have a psychopathic, narcissist, rapist, misogynist, racist, dictator, who is going to be president of the United States again, which is just horrifying, mortifying, and embarrassing. I mean, just absolutely embarrassing that this kind of a decrepit human being is a leader, which he's none in any way, shape, or form. But we put someone like this in charge and put in a position of power. Of course, done by design, all orchestrated, so that everybody keeps fighting. And then that you're stupid enough and brainwashed enough to think, oh, people, just let's come together. Isn't that oneness? Isn't this unity? You shouldn't be, just because you disagree about politics. This isn't about disagreeing on politics. You cannot be this ignorant and this, quite frankly, this stupid. This is part of the brainwashing and the mind control to tell you that it's just disagreeing about some politics. Enslaving people, controlling people, being a dictator, taking their rights away from them, owning them, raping them. That's not a disagreement on politics. Come on, let's grow the fuck up. And anybody who can't see that, that's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Get the fuck out of here, though. You are not mature enough. You are too brainwashed to even comprehend what we're talking about. So you can just move on and continue to go along your way and stay in that kind of reality if that's the reality that you want to create for yourself. Go have fun there. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you for it, but I'm also not going to be a part of it because I have free will choice. And I'm an actual sovereign being. That means energetically I'm free. Okay. You achieve those levels the more that you awaken to higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of enlightenment. When you become that being of oneness consciousness, when you become the creator being in human form, the truth of what you are as the way of truth, when you actually energetically become that as a vibrational frequency, you have the power, the energetic power. You are connected to the universe in a very different way, which means you can create a very different reality for you and others who vibrate at similar frequencies. You are powerful beyond what your mind can ever comprehend. You are powerful beyond what your mind could ever comprehend. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching the courses and everything that we have at Masters of Self University, because it teaches you at this quantum level. So what's that have to do with the emancipation of California from the United States? Creating our own country, a Republic of Oneness, everything. Because if you don't know you're powerful enough, you won't create it. So one of the things that Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, created, has already scheduled emergency sessions for the beginning of December, okay, in order to quote unquote Trump-proof our state. What I'm calling for is to go further than that and completely separate from the United States of America to form our own country, a Republic of Oneness, and we now have our own country. And for anybody who is a sadistic psychopath, misogynist, racist, and you believe in violence and the oppression of other people in the world, you can leave our country. It's okay. Leave. Go to the United States. That's what they're creating. That's what they are. That's what this country has become. It is disgraceful. It is humiliating to be a part of a system that this is what we are displaying ourselves as. And we can change it. And it is never about other people simply changing it. Nothing gets created. Listen to me very carefully. Nothing in this world gets created and manifested in our physical reality, in our human experience, without it first being created on an energetic level, because that's what you are first. You are a formless energetic being. You are creator consciousness itself. In order for it to show up in a tangible way in your physical reality, so that you experience it during your lifetime. Now we're talking about quantum physics here, but I teach quantum physics in a way where it's very practical in your everyday life. You don't have to be able to do the math equations in quantum physics. And beautiful, those of you who can do that. I teach it where your reality, it's an energetic creation that you are creating 100% of the time by default. You just don't exactly realize how. Again, you learn this step by step in the courses we teach at Masters of Self University. Okay, so learn it step by step. You can become it. You can learn all of it. For the sake of the podcast, you just have to take my word for it for now. If you want to learn how to do it and become it, great. Go enroll as a student. For now, just hear me. Just be open enough, open your hearts to hear me. Every single thing that we experience in this reality, we are energetically consenting to, we are co-creating its existence. You are co-creating the existence of fill in the damn blank. Fill in the blank. It's anything and everything. You are actually co-creating it with others. And yes, that means the horrific, horrendous, worst things in the world. You are co-creating that stuff. You just don't understand how. Now, to understand how, you have to become powerful enough on an energetic level. You start at the very basics. The lowest level is looking at yourself, your own shadow self. What programs? This means energetically, what are you creating in your own individual life, in your own individual relationship? If you don't like how your spouse reacts to you or responds to you, for example, what the fuck are you doing to create that? There's two sides to that, and it's not what you think. It's not how it's taught by the collective. This is a simple, tiny example of micro versus macro. What you're creating in your everyday life, you are also creating out in the world. So if you are selfish in your relationship, if you are living in ignorance in your relationship, selfishness flows through you. If you're an immature, wounded little fucking child in your relationship and you are unwilling to heal yourself, which means you are unwilling to look at your own darkness, then what you're doing is unwilling to look at the darkness on the planet and actually transform it at the root cause. This is all on an energetic level, guys. So if you're not yet stepping into and connecting to your divine power, which means you're not raising your level of consciousness, I don't care how spiritual you are, how much you think you fucking know, then you're not powerful enough to step out of what the matrix is for real and to completely unplug from it for real. I don't care for the last 3 years or 5 years or however long you've been posting about the matrix and unplug from the here's the spiritual blah blah blah. I have 5 billion followers. I don't none of that means anything. You haven't actually unplugged from it on an energetic level. You're holding it in place. If you hear me say something like California can absolutely separate from, can emancipate from the United States, and we can be our own country. I don't care where you live in the United States, what state you're in. I don't care where you live in the entire world. Do you understand? No matter where you live in the world, on an energetic level, you can unite together and create this and make it happen. If you choose. If you learn how, on an energetic level, to create a completely different reality, that is unplugging from the matrix for real. You can't unplug from the matrix just by changing some choices in your everyday life. I mean, that is part of it too. But on an energetic level, you're still holding that old matrix in place. Or we wouldn't have a privileged white fucking psychopath in charge of this country. As a collective, we're not yet at a high enough vibrational frequency level of consciousness to not continue to support and hold in place the old systems. That's not a judgment. That is the goddamn truth as the way of truth. It's a matter of being willing to learn this at a much deeper level and not be trapped in powerlessness like, oh my God, that sounds crazy. Emancipation of California from the United States of America. I mean, it sounds lovely to have a country, a Republic of Oneness. That's the new world. That's the new earth, people. We are here to actually create it, not sit here passively like stupid, ignorant, powerless little fucking children waiting for our savior to do everything for us like we're helpless fucking kids. Have you woken up enough to that yet? We are here to create it. We have to create it. And if you don't know how to create things and function at the quantum level of creation, because that's what this is, then it isn't going to get created. It really is that simple. Only when enough of us unite together and can create this at the quantum level of creation, you tap into the quantum level of creation itself. How do you do that? I can't teach that to you in a podcast episode, guys. That's what all the courses are for. Like literally, I run a metaphysical university to teach you all this so that we have the ability and the power, because we have the high level of metaphysical and spiritual education, to do something like create our own country, a Republic of Oneness. We can create our own country. If you're still brainwashed, well, how can we do that? Well, the United States won't allow that. What are you talking about? Who rules over you? You're a God incarnated sovereign being for the love of Christ. What do you mean you can't? That right there shows the mind control. We simply can. When you know how to do it energetically, when you know how to work at the quantum level, that's why one of the courses, more than one, but one of the courses in 2025 is quantum energetics. But you can't even comprehend it and literally achieve it and do it if you don't learn step 1, step 2, class 1, class 2, like the other classes that are foundational classes. It is taught this way for a reason. We are offering this for a reason. Because when you learn this and you energetically become it, guess what? The emancipation of California is something that is very exciting and very doable. It's not, oh my God, that's impossible. You're fucking mind controlled. You're still at such a low vibrational frequency that you can't comprehend the power that you actually have. And remember, that is never a goddamn judgment of you. It is never a put down. I don't come from that. I come from fucking universal ways of oneness. I don't vibrate lower than that. It's never a put down. If that's how you misinterpret it, it shows how low you are. That's your responsibility to heal yourself. Don't project that shit onto me. I'm letting you know as a teacher, that's where you're still functioning, because self-awareness is the first step to connecting to your divine sight, your actual divine power on every level possible. So if you're ignoring and you get offended by shit, but you're ignoring the truth because you can't handle it because you're too emotionally fragile, then you're not a warrior here to change this fucking world. You're here to be on the other side of things where you're a brainwashed sheep and you're just enslaved. You want to end that? You want to stop being brainwashed and mind controlled? You got to take action and elevate. Nobody's going to do it for you. There is no savior that's going to wave a magic wand and do it for you. Quite frankly, if you're not willing to put effort into yourself, you don't fucking deserve it. That's the truth. You don't. If you're not willing to do the work to elevate yourself, then you don't deserve to elevate. It is that simple. If you put the effort into yourself authentically, you deserve all the help in the fucking world. That's what Masters of Self University is, and that's what we do. To create our own country, we start with someone like a governor that already exists, that already doesn't want to be under the rule and reign of Trump, who already scheduled emergency sessions. But to me, those emergency sessions, okay, the great first step, Gavin, I'll give you that. But let me tell you what, it isn't enough. It's time. It's time to do something radical. It is time for all the people listening to this and share this out with other people. It is time to use this as a step to shift, completely create what the new earth looks like and will be like for real by forming our own country. And here's where I'm going to call upon you to participate in that. Number one, you have to be elevating, healing yourself, elevating to higher levels of consciousness. You have to, or you cannot comprehend the skills and the techniques of what it takes to energetically create and shift into a new reality, a quantum reality shift. This is quantum shifting. You can't contribute to the quantum shift. You literally will hold back, and it makes it harder to shift it. Now, when enough of us can just shift it, enough of us can shift it. But how many of us are out there who can function at this level? And if you can't yet function at the level, that's okay. That's what our metaphysical university is for. Sign up, get fucking studying, dive in, because we absolutely 100% can make this a reality. Okay. So when you have a human being already starting to take action towards what he's saying, Trump proof, California, for example, we can take it further. We can create our own country. How are we going to do that? Energetically, you create it on an energetic level first. And then what happens is you're guided on the physical realm to continue to take action to fit all the pieces together. But guys, it doesn't exist if you don't create it at the quantum level of creation first. Okay. So I'm going to sidestep here, because one of our courses that we offer is about brainwashing, protecting yourself from brainwashing and mind control from governments, from cults, that kind of thing. Like, you have to understand how you are so mind controlled. You have to understand how deep the programming goes. And you have to be willing to go learn how you were still so deeply programmed in certain areas and aspects of your life. If you're unwilling to see that about yourself, you don't create a new earth and a new reality because you don't know how. Okay. So you have to be willing to look at yourself and say, okay, I can at least start with me. I can elevate. I can dive in. I can take courses. I can heal. I can do all the things for myself. Okay. Because then you gain the level of wisdom as the way of wisdom to function on a more powerful level to quantum shift reality. And when you start learning how to do that, first of all, in your own personal life, things get really freaking exciting. Life is joy. It is fun. You realize how playful divinity actually is because you're the one creating it. You are the creator. And you're co-creating everything. So when you learn to quantum shift reality in your everyday experiences, life is really exciting. It's really fun. It's really meaningful. And the gratitude for what you get to experience every day is just off the charts. I mean, it's just fun. What else do you want in life but complete sovereignty, freedom, emotionally, energetically, that you just get to enjoy all the beautiful things that come across your path. It's an exciting, beautiful way to live. Okay? So it's worth learning it and becoming it for that. Right? You also, though, become so powerful and incredible with your skills and your wisdom and your energetic abilities to quantum shift big, massive things in our collective, in our entire world reality. Why do you think you are so mind controlled and brainwashed? Because if we grew up knowing this stuff, evil wouldn't rule the world. Evil traps you. All these psychopathic elite people that enslave you, they trap you into being dumb and blind, to not knowing any fucking thing, fuck all. They trap you in suffering. They trap you in survival mode because when you're surviving, and that's your whole focus is on surviving to get through the next hour, the next day, the next week, the next month. When all you're doing is surviving, you have no energy left over to do what I'm talking about. Here's the truth about all that. If you want to get out of survival mode, you got to buck up and you got to suck it the fuck up. And you have to be willing to just let life be harder for a while because you're going to have to do both for a period of time. Meaning continue to survive and struggle and be exhausted, but also be learning and elevating all this stuff. There's going to be a period of time where that overlaps for a lot of you. And that's where fucking suck it up, get over it, buckle in, strap in, and just fucking do it. Otherwise, it isn't going to get done. And nobody's going to fucking save you. Like all that religious cult bullshit where they brainwash you there. Okay? Jesus never came here and taught you he was going to fucking save you from any goddamn thing. He taught you could become what he became. He was a teacher to teach you how to achieve it, how to accomplish it, how to set yourselves free because you have the power, the creator inside of you because you're a fractal of that creator manifested in a human form. Period. End. Everyone is. Are you living that? Most people no. Not even close. Because of all the mind control and the brainwashing and the enslavement. Okay? So understand something. We have the power. We have the energetic ability, the wisdom, the skills when you're willing to get there, to achieve that, to make something like this a reality, a new country, a Republic of Oneness, where we have actual leaders that are awakened, enlightened beings that know how to teach everyone else in that country how to rise, how to awaken higher, how to set themselves free from trauma, from generational trauma, ancestral trauma, how to elevate higher, how to have zero tolerance moving forward, or violence. No more violence, no more wars, no more rape, no more any of it. No tolerance for hate, no more. If you really, really, really want to create a country, a new earth starts with having a country that is willing to be the way. Follow me, I am the way. We have the power to show everyone else in the world how to become this, how to do this. But you have to be willing to do what it takes. The effort, the energy, the devotion, the resources, the work ethic. Like, it's work. Are you willing to put that work? Are you willing to put that effort forward? You as a resource forward. Are you willing to do what it takes? And at least start. Again, I don't care where you are in the whole world listening to this. You could at least start. Call Gavin Newsom's office. Call the office. Write a letter, print it out 10 times, and every single day mail a new letter out to his office. Here's his number on the screen. Here's his address to the governor's office. At least start there. If every one of you called that number and left a message and said, Governor Newsom, I demand that you emancipate and separate California from the United States of America. I demand that you create this state as a new country, a Republic of Oneness. Anything less than that is unacceptable. Call the number, demand it. Because that's where we start. You can at least put your attention, your focused attention, and take physical action by calling that number and leaving a message. That's the minimum that you can do. I know that there are people from other countries who they've had horrific experiences with their rights taken away, especially women, of course, obviously, right? Women are ready to rise and create a completely new earth. And this is a step forward to do that. Because enough is enough of us living in fear and in danger of being harmed. All the threats by these psychopaths that they're making constantly. The 2025 agenda for the Trump administration. Guys, listen to me very carefully. You don't need to put your attention on any of it. You could put your attention on something completely new. That is how new things get created. We here in the United States, especially the women here, are not alone in the world. Those of you, man or woman, who are horrified at the leader that was appointed, we have the power to change it. Those of you in other countries, I have seen your posts on social media. I have seen them. The beautiful, amazing, magnificent, wonderful, loving messages that started coming out from so many different countries. What a loving, beautiful act of unity. That alone is empowering. That there are so many people from other countries that are here supporting those of us who feel devastated and horrified and embarrassed and scared and all the things. You don't have to feel those. They're just energetic frequencies, by the way. Learn how to process your emotion. Don't stay trapped in those frequencies. Okay? That we teach it. Those are our basic foundational courses and coaching programs that we teach you at Masters of Self University, how to do that. You don't want to stay in those frequencies. That just continues to create more of that. Do you understand? That's how energy works. When you work at the quantum level of reality and you want to shift the reality, you cannot vibrate at the frequencies that a monstrous, raping, racist, lunatic, narcissist dictator, those frequencies that he puts out into the country, into the world, you can't stay in those energetic frequencies and then expect to create something different. This is why working at the quantum level of energetics, working at this level is literally the only way to create something different. It is the only way anything gets created or transformed. Literally. Okay? When you really understand that, it isn't only this is a multi-layered process. If all you do is take action, like contact Governor Newsom, contact his office, call that office, leave a message. The numbers on the screen, will put the information in the notes, in the show notes. That's great. You should do that. Please do it. And yet, if you're coming from anger or fear or lower vibrational frequencies, you will create nothing but more of that. Okay? That redheaded clown, I am not devastated. I am not in fear. I was disgusted briefly. It's disgusting that this is how low we have to go before we rise up and elevate for real, our collective. I mean, ugh. But you alchemize all of that because the power of your vibrational frequency, your thoughts, your emotions, energetically where you're at, is what fuels your behaviors, what fuels your actions in this world. It literally, on an energetic level, creates either the same or a more elevated reality. And by the way, just because something is different or just because something changes and it looks different on the surface, if it isn't a different vibrational frequency, then it's not more elevated. Does that make sense to you? If I punch you in the face with my fist, and then I punch you in the face with a hammer, and then I punch you in the face with a rock, they may feel a little bit different. Like the hammer might have hurt a lot more. The rock might have hurt a lot more than my fist, but I still punched you in the face. I still caused damage. I still hurt you. It's still the same fucking vibrational frequency. If you're not elevated beyond that at a level of consciousness that you can't comprehend that, then you're not changing shit. It's like, just put somebody different in office as president. Somebody that comes from the same government, the fake bullshit government. Really? Guys, oh my gosh. All of it's a clown show. All of it's fake. Do you understand? If it comes from our government, you don't want to vote for them. Your vote doesn't mean anything anyway. Your vote didn't do anything. I don't care who you fucking voted for. It didn't do anything. It's fake. Your votes don't matter. It's all a fucking illusion. It's a clown show. Literally a clown show. So you think, here's the brainwashing and the mind control. You think that your vote counts for anything. It doesn't. It's pretend. You know why it's pretend? And they go to all these lengths to make you think your vote means jack shit? So that you don't revolt and overthrow the fucking government. That's why. And they can keep you enslaved and just say, oh, well, the people spoke. No, they didn't. They never do. All of it's fake, and they go back and forth with who they're going to put in there. All of that needs to go away. All of that needs to crumble and end. And it isn't about us, ending it. Now, sometimes metaphorically, I will say our government needs to be destroyed. It needs to be fucking overthrown and all the shit. Metaphorically. But how do you do that as a being of oneness? And it isn't passively all the other brainwashing. Let me tell you the other type of brainwashing there is. All the pseudo-spiritual bullshit that so many of you have been trapped in, like Q. They give you a large degree of truth because that's part of the brainwashing tactic. And they tell you to trust in the plan, which means do nothing. Stand by passively and watch like stupid little fucking idiots. So nothing changes. And you're still enslaved and you're still mind controlled and you're still brainwashed. That's all part of mind control and brainwashing. You want to learn how to break that down? Take our fucking brainwashing class. We break it down so that you can't be brainwashed anymore. We will never create a new earth if you continue to get mind controlled and brainwashed, people. They trick you because they understand energetics at the quantum level. And you just don't yet. Okay? You don't. In a practical, how do you apply it? Use it in your everyday life. When you don't know how to do that yet, you're brainwashed and mind controlled. It's just going to come from a different angle. And what they've done over the last decade, they've infused it into quote unquote spirituality so that you're very confused. You start to wake up. Waking up is scary. It's like, oh my God, I'm going through all these horrible things in my awakening, and it's like harder than I thought. Here comes pseudo-spiritual bullshit brainwashing so that you don't actually wake up for real and you stay low and codependent and powerless and you need your tribe. All that crap is part of the bigger picture of mind control. So that you'll listen to somebody giving you truth. Oh, I don't like you curse. Fuck you. No shit. You know why? Because I'm going to teach you what the way of loyalty is. The way of loyalty is loyalty to my own divinity first. That means my authenticity as a human being, as a divine being that you can't yet comprehend because you think if I say fuck or not has anything to do with how enlightened I am. That's how fucking stupid and brainwashed and mind controlled you are. Because I didn't hear our quote unquote presidential candidates in 2024 cursing. Does that mean they're awakened beings or they're the ones that are fucking enslaving you? You really think whether I drop an F-bomb or not somehow means I'm not a divine being? You really think the people running, the people in charge in government are divine fucking beings? But you're still stupid enough and mind controlled enough to think that if I drop an F-bomb or if I change my tone like I'm demonstrating to you and role modeling for you right now, it's very purposeful what I'm doing in case you're that clueless. That I purposefully will demonstrate this to you and not talk in this really soft, misogynistic tone where women have to be really soft all the time so that you don't get triggered because your emotional fragility, we don't want to activate and address it head on. Go fuck yourselves. What I am doing in any given moment is beyond most people's comprehension. It is very purposeful. And it is hilarious when people tell on themselves in the fucking comments. Well, I'd listen to you more if you were like this. You're a brainwashed sheep. You are mind controlled. You don't have the slightest clue what it means to elevate at a higher level of consciousness. Oh, I don't like that mocking tone. Well, that's because you're a fucking baby. The only reason why it triggers you is because you're still an emotionally fragile, immature, powerless little motherfucking baby who doesn't want to be told that you are, because if you listen to that, you would have to do the inner work that is scary and painful and challenging, and you would have to heal for real and wake the fuck up for real. That's why you're going to project onto me instead and say it's about my fucking tone instead of about your lack of awareness and your refusal to do the inner work to heal your bullshit that thinks someone's tone of voice can have any fucking effect on your vibrational frequency. This is how you consent to staying low. If you are not powerful enough to handle somebody giving you the fucking truth, whether you like the truth or not, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to give you what will elevate you to the highest levels possible so we can change this whole fucking world together. You're not powerful enough to handle my fucking tone, then you're not here to create a new world. You're here to be mind controlled, brainwashed sheep, and you're here for everyone else who's waking up for real to see you in contrast and learn from you. Oh my God, holy shit, I see their stupid programming. I see how powerless they are, never in judgment. I see it with divine sight because I'm elevating and healing myself. I see the contrast in you staying so low, blaming and projecting on everybody else instead of taking responsibility for yourself and your own elevation. Oh my God, I see it now because I've chosen to do the inner work on myself and raise higher. And you know what? When I hear somebody speak truth, whether they speak it softly, whether they scream it from the rooftops, whether they curse with it or not, I am powerful enough and divine enough in the way of wisdom, elevated enough to hear the damn truth and be inspired by it. It lights a fire under my ass. I don't go whining and crying and say, because of the way you speak, I'm not going to elevate and listen. How fucking old are you? And you think by commenting, you look anything but stupid. Elevated people can see you. That's why they're elevated. You can't. You think you're making some sort of an impression or like upsetting somebody when you comment when you're coming from such a low vibrational frequency. You're not. You're embarrassing yourself. It's all you're doing. And that is never a judgment of any kind. It isn't. And you're too low to even comprehend when I say that. And that's okay. You're not inferior. You're in a much lower grade. There's a difference. If you're willing to rise up above all of that and do the inner work on yourself and face that shit, then guess what? You have the power to create a new country with me, a Republic of Oneness. You have the divine power inside of yourself. But if you're functioning from your emotionally fragile little baby boy, little baby girl, I want to pretend I'm so spiritual, but I can't handle how you talk. You're so fucking low. You don't have the energetic power to create a new country and a new earth. Not yet. But those of you that do, it's time. This is one of the greatest things that ever could have happened. Trump becoming president. It is. It's one of the greatest things. You know why? Because we fucking had enough of this bullshit. That's why. We have had enough of the Hitlers of the world, of the governments who are cult-led, brainwashing, mind control sociopaths that have their hand in everything fucking evil on this planet. We are tired. We've had enough of the enslavement of all people for your fucking benefit. We've had enough. This is glorious. Him being the president is fucking glorious because this is our time. Have you had enough yet? How bad does it have to get before that fire's lit under your ass for you to rise the fuck up and actually do something about it? And that means your attention, your energy, your self-healing needs to continue. Raising your level of consciousness needs to continue. Of course, that needs to continue. But it also means that you are connecting to your inner divine power. You are the source creator of all that is, incarnated as a fractal of yourself in this human form, whoever you are listening to this. That is what you are. You are so insanely powerful. And we together have the power to create our own country. We actually do. And that starts at the energetic level. Let's make it happen. A Republic of Oneness. Who doesn't want to be in a country where we continue to teach and lead in a way where everybody wins, where we actually function in oneness, where every one of those universal ways of oneness, all 20 of them, are what we are all willing to become so that we can have poison-free food, no more chemicals, no more school systems of indoctrination, true metaphysical, real, actual enlightened education, learning how to connect to our God selves so that we can create anything that we want to, and anything that we want to comes from every damn way of oneness, the way of trust, the way of truth, the way of equality, the way of loyalty to divinity itself, the way of purity, the way of unconditional love, the way of harmony, all of it. You imagine what we can create on this planet. Can you imagine what this country, this new country, a Republic of Oneness, can become for those of us who are willing to become the ways of oneness ourselves? That's what this is about. This is what a new earth is. This is how we do it. This is how it starts. We have the power. And with that, I am asking you to share this. Like it, comment. If you're a fucking psychopath, get the fuck out of here. Nobody needs your stupid comments. Don't care. I'm not doing it to boost anything. I don't care how the fucking algorithms work. I care energetically that we are in favor of and we support doing something radical to create the actual difference we need to make in this world. That's what I care about. So share it with anybody who you think would support something like this. And guess what? Write a letter. Print it out 10 times. Mail it once a day, 10 days straight, to Gavin Newsom's office in California, in the United States. Call the number of his office. Demand emancipation. Demand California separate. I don't care where you live in the world. You know why? Because when we can create our own new country, we can come up with our own elections of who can lead this new country, a Republic of Oneness. And as we do that, you know what that also means? It means the people who are sadistic, violent, crazy psychopaths will flee this country, or we will remove them. And all the people who are ready to be beings of oneness, help each other in communities, in regenerative farming, no more chemicals, no more anything, no more poisoning, no more homelessness, because we're willing to help each other and elevate for real. When we have leaders that are leaders of oneness consciousness leading us, and we all together lead one another, teach one another from this place in space, we have the power to change the entire world. But hey, I'm a go big or go home kind of person. Are you ready to create our own country? Are you ready to make this happen? Because the more attention you put on it, the more focused attention you put on it, and then take action on that, the closer we are at making it happen. Let's make it happen. Call that office. I want to hear from you. If you want to make this happen, if you want to contribute and make this happen, let's make it happen. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.